I'm not going to be long today, but I want to use as my text a passage of scripture found in Joshua 13, just the first verse. That it is, you know, I listened to my brother Dave Alton speak yesterday to the men and talk about God calling us when we are old, and God of course calls young people. But there is a passage of scripture in Joshua chapter 13. Just let me read you the first verse, and this is what it says. When Joshua had grown old, the Lord said to Joshua, "You are now very old, and there are still very large areas of the land to be possessed." Joshua, you're old, and yet there is so much land still to possess. So the title of my message today is "We Are Not There Yet." We are not there yet. And I know, especially when Barack Obama became the president of these United States, a lot of folks were saying, "That's it, man. We have arrived." Who would have believed that we would ever have a black president? Oh, we have a black. But brothers and sisters, that's not the end of prejudice. That's not the end of racism. The fact that we have a black president does not end the struggle that we have been in. It is not the end, but it signifies that the battle continues on the streets of Detroit. The battle continues on the streets of Brooklyn. The battle continues in the courts. It's not over. It's, as a matter of fact, I think it's just begun. We are not there yet. My children used to drive me crazy because they always would get in the car and they know that it's 25 miles that we have to travel. But after 3 minutes, the question is, are we there yet? Are we there yet? That's a perennial question that is always asked. Parents hear it all the time from children who constantly ask, "Are we there yet? Are we there yet?" Because they are always over anxious. Are we there yet? And that's the question that we must ask ourselves in this Black History Month. Are we there yet? Have we arrived? Or is this struggle still going on? And the fact is that I am using this message mainly to remind us that the struggle is still going on. We would love to say, well, it's all over. You don't have to fight. I just hate that at my age, I have to think that my grandchildren are living in a day and an age and in a world in which they still have to struggle against racism. I hate the very fact that my grandchildren still have to go to schools where, because of the color of their skin, they might be discriminated against. I hate the very fact that my own grandchildren will walk into some stores, and because they are black, the security guard may just be following them wherever they go. It's not over. We are still fighting that struggle, and we must still continue. We are not there yet. Abraham Lincoln, well, before Abraham Lincoln, we got to understand a certain document that America got to know, and we got to know it. It's called the Declaration of Independence. And the Declaration of Independence says to Britain, it's over. Stop fighting. We are now big boys now. We are on our own. It's over. And the Declaration of Independence said to Great Britain, who were the lords of America, it's all over. We are now a unique nation. We are now a unique country. But there is a little clause in the Declaration of Independence that we have come to love and we have come to appreciate. It says this, that all men and women are created equal. America said that to Britain. America said that to all the countries in the world at that time. America said that to Americans. America said that to herself. America said all men and women are created equal. But while the ink was still wet on the parchment that said all men and women are created equal, 12 million Africans were being shipped across the Atlantic to be sold as furniture in the marketplace. While the ink was still wet on the parchment, and while the world was hearing America says that all men are created equal, slaves were being transported like cargo across the Atlantic to be sold on blocks. While the ink was still wet on the parchment, black people in America could be sold any day from one plantation to the other plantation. You know, one of the things that we have that has gotten lost in our own history is this whole idea of New Year's Eve. You see, New Year's Eve, we ought always to remember that New Year's Eve started on the plantation. The whole idea of New Year's Eve is not an ecclesiastical holiday. It's not a Christmas. New Year's Eve, what we must remember about New Year's Eve is that on the plantation, on plantations all around America, slave masters gathered. And slave masters gathered to give an accounting of, it's like April 15th. Uncle Sam has got to get his. And on plantations all around America, slave owners gathered together and they began to count their belongings. And it is on that last day of the year that slave owners began, when they began to count, they says, okay, well, we owe Elrod, the slave owner, we owe Elrod thousands of dollars. How are we going to satisfy Elrod? The only way I can satisfy Elrod is to sell him or give him a few of my slaves. And we went through and we took slaves, we took able-bodied men and took them away from their family. We took them away from their loved ones and we gave it to Elrod. And so New Year's morning, when men and women and families got up, what they looked for is he still here? Is our daddy still with us? It is on New Year's morning that most families on the plantations will get up to find out, oh no, John was sold, John was given. And yet we understand quite well that we are not there yet, because that very tragedy is happening every day in America, even today, as we see black men are disappearing. Black men are disappearing. They are disappearing to the penal system. When we see all the black men that are in jail today, that's where they are. And we can't blame anybody. Because one of the things that I must say when I say that we are not there yet is that we do some stuff to ourselves. And it's one thing to say, oh, the system, oh, this. Well, it's not the system when we have black on black crime. It is not the system when it is so convenient to look at another black person and just take their life away over some drugs, or over a broken promise. We do it to ourselves. We are not there yet until we begin to recognize the value of life, the value of a black life, the value of a white life, the value of a Mexican life, the value of life. We cannot wipe ourselves out and say the white man did it to us. We are not there yet. Between 1500 and 1820, African slaves constituted more than 80% of the traffic across the Atlantic. That was the cargo. When the West Indies, when the West, and this is, I need to give you this. When the West boasts about how industrial and prosperous we are, when America boasts about how great America has become, when America boasts about the fact that we are the greatest nation in the world, and I don't know what's wrong with Latin America, and I don't know what's wrong with Africa, and I don't know what's wrong with some of the other third world countries. What America must understand is that America's greatness is due partly to the labor of slaves who came to America and gave their blood, sweat, and tears to this country. And so we must understand that. That's part of black history. That's part of our history. I know Barack Obama is in the White House, and I understand quite well slaves built the White House. Slave labor built the White House. It's our grandparents who placed boulder upon boulder and brick upon brick to build the White House. I really wish that America will come to terms with the fact that since we built the White House, it's all right if we occupy the White House. It's all right. For what goes around comes around. And we must understand quite well that it is a part of our history. No. It's a part of God's history. That's the way God does it. We are not there yet. We are not there yet because we still have the one-drop rule. And sometime way back there, somebody says, you know what, all these slaves that we are going to let go, there are some of them, look very white. And they are saying to the landowners, we need to be a part of the heritage. We need, because you see, the slave master, this child that I have, the slave master is really the father of this child. And this child really looks white, but still, that's when they passed the one-drop rule. That if you have one drop of black in you, you black. Plessy versus Ferguson. Plessy was 78 white, going back to the grandparents, but yet he was considered black. I would love for people to come to terms with it and say, we have a white president. If your mother is white and your father is black, how come you are black? We got a white president. We got a white president and we got a black president. That's all right. How come he's the first black president? He's the first president that's got a black father and a white mother, but he's American. And if it's all right to say that we have a black president, then it's all right to say we have a white president. And I wish white America will come to terms with it. It's all right. His mother is white. If you love white, you got to love Barack Obama because his mother is white. Love him just because his mama is white. If you hate him because his daddy is black, why not love him because his mother is a white woman? privilege. There is still room for growth in America. We are not there yet. I wish this congregation would understand that our struggle is not just to go to heaven. I know you all want to go to heaven. And I know that they, people like Levi and Patrick and myself, we closer to heaven than, no, I'm glad, yeah. We closer to heaven than a lot of y'all. The chances are we'll get there. Dorothy, don't be hiding back there. we are closer to heaven. The chances are that we will get there before some of you all. But I want to say to y'all, don't be so absorbed in going to heaven if you can't change the world that you are living in. Make a difference in our world. Let us enjoy heaven. But you'll make a difference in our world. Don't just live for life after death. Live so that you can change the world that wants to change the world. When the conservative leaders of our country tried to deny black people the right to vote through unnecessary voter ID, I know we are not there yet. For the blood, sweat, and tears that we shed just for the right to vote, black people and women also. And I want to say something to you women. While black people are fighting to maintain and retain the right to vote that is threatened, they are threatening to take that right away from us. Gerrymandering all around so that black people have to go through the hoops so that they can vote. If you don't support black women, I'm talking to you, if you don't support black people in their struggle to keep the vote, you're going to be next. Because you had to fight. There was a time when no woman can vote. And you had to fight for the right. Men said that women couldn't vote. Men said that women were not enough, were not smart enough. Men said that about you. And if you don't join us in the struggle to keep that vote, you might be next. And that your vote, when you start voting in block for a certain party, then your vote might be taken away from you. This is America. All men and all women are created equal. When the prison system is overflowing with more black men than any other race, something is wrong with the system. When prisons have become big business in America, if you really want to invest, if you really want to put millions of dollars in something that you know the returns are going to be good, build a prison. And if you build a prison, it's going to be filled with black men. Some of them want to go there. Some of them like to go there. And some of them have fallen victim to a system. And as long as we live in that environment, we are not there yet. When black people who come out of prison and who have paid their debt to society are told that they cannot vote, even after they have paid their debt, even after they have spent 20 years in prison, and white people too, that even after you have paid the debt to society and society says, yes, you have spent 25 years paying back, but yet you cannot vote. We are not there yet. Because if I've paid my Bible tells me if I've paid my debt to society, well, don't have it hanging over my head. Compassion tells me I've paid my debt. I've done my time. And we are not there yet. As long as young black men and black women are coming out of prison and we say, yeah, it's all right, but you can't vote. Something is wrong with our system and we are not there yet. When the black unemployment rate is almost twice the country's average, something is wrong. I thought black people were lazy. I've found out over the years black people are not lazy. All black people want is an opportunity. And we are not there yet until we get to the place where we understand that we must create opportunities for individuals rather than building roadblocks so that people cannot be afforded the kind of privilege that they want to. When the subprime mortgage industry targets black people and poor people to give them houses, knowing quite well that they cannot pay for it, knowing quite well that 1 year from now we're going to have to take it back from them, there is something wrong with our industry. There is something wrong with our culture. We are not there yet. As much as we talk about all men are created equal, no, we're not there yet. And so the question is, do we still need Black History Month? Do we still, it's only a month. And as a matter of fact, they gave us the shortest month in the year. They could have given us October or November. It's too long, but they give us the shortest month. Say, take 28 days if y'all gonna celebrate. But it's not the length of time that we celebrate, but it's the intensity and purpose for which we celebrate Black history. There is significance and there is meaning in Black history because Black history is God's history. When we saw Colleen Powell and Condoleezza Rice, who both served as Secretary of State, we thought, we there. And then we saw Clarence Thomas elected to the Supreme Court, and there were those who were saying, we're there. And then we saw an Attorney General whose parents hailed from Barbados, and we thought, we are there. But every day we live understanding quite well that we are not there yet. I want to challenge this congregation to be involved in something higher than going to heaven. I want to challenge this congregation to be involved and engaged in something that brings much more value to your life. I need to tell you that Black people have the highest divorce rates of any group of people in these United States. We're not there yet. I need to tell you that Black people have the highest rate of single people in the United States. We're not there yet. We have the lowest marriage rates. We're not there yet. We have the highest out of wedlock children than any other group in the United States. We are not there yet. So, what do? We do it by understanding that there are two battles Joshua had to fight. The one battle that Joshua had to fight was the big battle, and God says, you don't have to fight that battle. That's my battle. But what Joshua had to understand is that every tribe that is around, they have a little piece of land that they have to fight. Yes, God has allowed you to cross the Red Sea, and God has allowed you to cross the Jordan, but there are little battles that you must continue to fight. What we must understand is that yes, we can say that generally we are there, but yet there are small battles to fight. There are battles to fight in Lake Como Elementary School. There are battles to fight on Barbara's job. There are battles to fight on no, you retired, you ain't got no job, but it was a job. But we all have our little battles that we are fighting because we are black, because we are poor, because we are women. And it is incumbent upon all of us to be in solidarity with the fight that our brothers and sisters are still fighting. Not because you have won. You see, the general fight is over. But one by one, in our little world, we have a fight. Jesus Christ went to the cross 2,000 years ago. And I know when Jesus Christ went to the cross, I heard the words, "It is finished." I heard the words, "It is done." I heard the words, "Salvation has been accomplished." But every day that I try to live this Christian life, I'm asking myself, is it finished? Come on now. Was the victory won 2,000 years ago? And I'm asking myself, well, Jesus, if you defeated the enemy, if you defeated the devil, why is it that he knows my zip code? All right, come on. If you defeated the enemy, why is it that every day I get on the highway, I find the devil all over? And I've learned to sanctify my finger when I'm driving. I've learned to do that because we got some bad drivers. And I get on the highway, and boy, they would make you lose your salvation. Especially them other people. Come on. But we understand quite well, yes, the big battle is over, but every single day we are involved in some small battles. My job is to find out what are the little battles that my brother and my sister are engaged in, so that we can fight those battles. So that we can tell each other about the battles that we have. And so that we don't have to hide. We are not there yet. And that means, Carol, you ain't there yet. That means, Ann, you're not there yet. Venus, you're not there yet. Mark, Jackie, you ain't there. Mark ain't there yet. None of us is there. Because we are all on this journey, fighting this battle. But by God's grace, we can win. We are not there yet. But thank God we are not fighting this battle by ourselves. Thank God we have the community of saints to support us in this. We are not there yet. Our own humanity reminds us that we are not there yet. When we get out on the highways and byways, we know we are not there yet. When the bill collector calls, we know we ain't there yet. When we look at the finance charge on our credit cards, we know we ain't there yet. Something is fundamentally wrong. Let us be engaged in fighting for a cause. that's worthy. I'm not going to be looking for you in heaven. I hope you ain't looking for me when you get there. But what I'm doing, I'm looking around the corner to see if I can find you working on some of the battles. Since we are not there yet, working on those little battles, heaven will take care of itself. Trust me. I haven't been there, but trust me, it'll take care of itself. But be involved in something that's meaningful. In authenticity and worship and prayer, we will keep celebrating the sacred until we embody it. In life-centered diversity of community, we will keep practicing love until we get it right. As a critical yet hopeful prophetic minority, we will keep calling for justice until it prevails. In the midst of the groaning of creation, we will keep longing for kingdom until kingdom comes. Till earth and heaven ring. Ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing raise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. Stony the road we trod, bitter the chastening rod, felt in the days when hope unborn had died, yet with a steady beat have not our weary feet come to the place for which our fathers sighed. We have come over a way with tears has been watered. We have come treading our path through the blood of the slaughtered, out from the gloomy past, till now we stand at last where the white gleam of our star is cast. God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, Thou hast brought us thus far on the way. Thou who hast taught by Thy might, led us into the light. Keep us forever in the path, we pray, lest our feet stray from the places, our God, where we met Thee. Lest our hearts, drunk with the wine of the world, we forget Thee. Shadowed beneath Thy hand, may we forever stand true to our God, true to our native